This is NAB Show Live.
I'm Ryan Salazar, and I'm so excited about the 2019 NAB Show like a kid in a candy store. Today we have Jess Hartman, President and CEO of ProMAX Systems. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much for being with us today. So tell us about ProMAX and what you guys do.
So as you probably know, we've been in business since 1994, and really we've evolved over the years, and where we're at today as an organization is we build video workflow management servers. So we build stuff that all the editors and media managers are using to deal with all this data and stuff that they have to deal with today.
Why is media management and workflow efficiency still a relevant conversation in our industry?
Yeah, I think really what it comes down to, and will continue to get worse on, is that we just have more stuff today. We have more data. We have more projects, we have more chaos going on than we ever have before. And all of that takes more time, and time takes more labor. And that ends up being more cost. And the reality is that if we can't get good at media management with cloud, with multiple locations, remote editing, we're just going to create chaos, and it's going to cost more money, and that doesn't work.
So how is the cloud beginning to influence and change the way we work with media?
Yeah, so the reality is that we're at the infancy on how the cloud is influencing us in media management, and in particular in our creative space. We know that cloud is being used significantly for distribution. Obviously, that's happening every day. But for media creation, we're just at the infancy. I think that we're seeing cloud used in review and approval processes. Where it's used in backup and archival, but it's really still very restrictive in terms of its bandwidth capability, both from a speed and a latency perspective, to use in editing. And that restriction, I think, is going to remain there for some time. Right? It's going to take a little bit a ways before we can all get enough bandwidth to be able to do what we want to do with the cloud. But we're going to start seeing offerings. We're starting to see offerings from remote editing, being, putting the servers in the cloud and using remote desktop management to do that. Some companies are doing that, but there's more coming. And I think it's a brave new world that we're about to embark on.
When will we see a fundamental shift like what we saw with analog to digital and SD to HD? Yeah, and so that I think is the big question, right? We talk about this bandwidth limitation. That's the real inflection point when we get to that place. I mean, I think everybody wants it. Just like when we look at our lives today, everybody deals with cloud on a daily basis. Almost every application you're dealing with on your desktop is running in the cloud, and that's not true for the creative space yet. But it's going to happen when that bandwidth limitation, that latency get corrected. Everybody wants it. We're not there yet, but I think in the absence of it, like when is that going to occur? We are 5-10 years out, in my opinion, just commercially from the economics perspective of the telecommunications infrastructure. But in the absence of that, I think what we're going to start seeing is that the industry is going to take advantage of the services that cloud can provide. And those services not only include, the ability to do AI in the cloud, to be able to do media management from a database and an organizational perspective in the cloud. But until we get there, we're going to start seeing things like hybrid cloud. So, your local servers are still doing editing. You're doing all the fast stuff local. It's communicating with the cloud for organization and communication to the other services. But we're not really seeing cloud where all of the data is stored and edited off of right now. So it's coming, and it's going to be exciting when we get there. All right, nicely said. Jess Hartman, President and CEO at ProMAX Systems. We're going to see you in South Lower 6313, that's SL 6313, at the 2019 NAB Show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.